Okay, today's chapter is Lesson 3, Initiative and Leadership. You can do it if you believe you can. And the quote to the left is, "A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds." Francis Bacon. So this lesson on initiative and leadership follows the lesson on self-confidence for the reason that no one could become an efficient leader or take the initiative in any great undertaking without belief in himself. Initiative and leadership are associated terms in this lesson for the reason that leadership is essential for the attainment of success, and initiative is the very foundation upon which this necessary quality of leadership is built. Initiative is as essential to success as a hub is essential to a wagon wheel. And what is initiative? It is that exceedingly rare quality that prompts, nay, impels a person to do that which ought to be done without being told to do. Albert Hubbard expressed himself on the subject of initiative in these words: The world bestows its big prizes both in money and honors for one thing, and that is initiative. What is initiative? I'll tell you. It's doing the right thing without being told. So then it goes on just to basically talk about initiative, just how it's doing like planning your work and working your plan. It goes into proceed to an outline the exact procedure that you must follow if you're to become a person of initiative and leadership. And it goes through a couple steps, and then, which is first, you must master the habit of procrastination, eliminate it from your makeup. This habit of putting off until tomorrow that which you should have done last week or last year or a score of years ago is gnawing at the very vitals of your being, and you can accomplish nothing until you throw it off. Then it goes through this formula, the initiative and leadership formula, that it basically says you should be reading twice a day, once when you wake up and once before you go to bed. So I do think we should take this all on. I'm reading an interesting book called I believe it's The 4-Hour Workweek is what it's called, and it's not just about taking initiative and doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's doing what matters. There's tasks that we've each been putting off, like we talked about last week, that you're avoiding that's really producing like 80% of the results of your project. So, we act as if basically we spend 80% of our time on stuff that doesn't matter and that's not really making a difference and really producing big results. But that 80% is only of time we spend is only producing 20% of our results. But that 20% of time, generally, that people focus on, that produce big results, is like 80% of your results. So again, just look if there's anything you're avoiding, any big tasks that you need to be taking on, instead of inventing new tasks like little things to do around the house or little things that you could look into. Just stuff like that. Stop avoiding like the big things. Oh, and second, you of course understand that the only way to get happiness is by giving it away to others. The same applies to the development of initiative. You can best develop this essential quality in yourself by making it your business to interest those around you doing the same. It is a well-known fact that a man learns best that which he endeavors to teach others. So then it goes on to talk about how you should tell people the principle of initiative and just enroll them in taking on more in their day and doing what they know they should be doing and what that can actually produce by doing that. The book will stimulate thought, which is the greatest service that any book can render. As a matter of fact, the chief object of this reading course on the law of success is to stimulate deliberate thought, particularly that brand of thought that is free from bias and prejudice and is seeking truth no matter where or how or when it may be found. Leadership is a composite of a number of qualities. Among the most important, I would list self-confidence, morale, ascendancy, self-sacrifice, paternalism, fairness, initiative, decision, dignity, and courage. So there's about 10 different ones on here. Remember what I tell you. Your company will be the reflection of yourself. If you have a rotten company, it'll be because you're a rotten captain. The man who always takes and never gives is not a leader, he's a parasite. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And lastly, if you aspire to leadership, I would urge you to study men, get under the skins, and find out what is inside. So, the chapter was like a lot of terms, it felt like. Like it was just a lot of going into depth about those different qualities of leadership and just explaining those terms. Um, hmm. So in Landmark yesterday, in the last couple of weeks, we're using a performance triangle, and one side of that performance triangle is leadership, which they say leadership is a function of your ability to invent new opportunities for yourself and others to produce expanded results. And the homework was basically to make 4 requests a day, and 2 of those requests had to be unreasonable requests. Well, I couldn't come up with 2 requests a day or a total of 4, and I was really stuck with this film saying, okay, where can I make unreasonable requests for people? And I really couldn't think of much. I thought like, okay, like I just felt like I was making stuff up. And even in the run, like I was really like, okay, I probably could make probably four in the next day and probably be done with all my requests that I need to make. But then I really looked, and it was like an attachment to having all the power in the run, like wanting to control every aspect of it, and there's no power in like trying to control things. So we should each look in our individual projects and the project as a whole, how we can give away power with each project. Like, how can I really give away a portion of putting together these funds where someone takes that on, and it doesn't have to necessarily look one way, it can happen in different ways, but really just let it just let other people show up as greatness. And another thing I really took away from yesterday at Landmark is that we haven't really gotten our hands dirty. None of us have really gotten our hands dirty, I don't believe, for this film. That we haven't really gone and interviewed people that it could really make a difference with. Like, we've done our friends where they might have some goals or they're on their way, but they're kind of stuck at a small place. Like, they might be making $40,000 and they're like, oh, I want to make $1 million. Well, that's great, like that's awesome, but it's not like the people who really need something like this, a step-by-step film that really can make a difference, and a guide to really show people anything is possible. And I think there's a lack of that in making this film so far, that we haven't gotten our hands dirty and interviewed some people that could really use it. Or even if we have, I don't think we've really gotten in touch with the difference this film could really make. And we haven't honored that and gotten in tune with that. And because there's a lot of people, like homeless people, and there's a lot of children who just feel stuck, that have a lot worse situations than any of us. So I think it's really time to honor our commitment of this film and realize, like, this isn't a thing that's going to get done in the future. This is a thing that needs to happen now, is what I see. What I suggest no, that's a dumb idea.